All right. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rachak Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is While You're Playing Around, They're Preparing. And pretty much this is a message and a warning to you Israelites out there, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. While you out there playing around, pretty much these devils, these Edomites, they're preparing for what's coming. These devils are studying, they're watching what's going on, they're studying the economy, the financial system, they're looking into things that are going on, they're doing their research. You know, they're preparing themselves for what's coming, and meanwhile, all Jake can do is just look to play around and have fun. You know, and it's funny because when you look at Jake, pretty much all you see them is getting ready to grill. You know, when you go to different grocery stores, different places, all they're doing is grabbing their charcoal and the different foods. You know that they're gonna prepare and you know, do their little cookout and grilling and all that. Well, I'll say this. Thought came to mind earlier that, you know, enjoy your last few little cookouts, because, you know, Esau's preparing to shut things down all over again. And the way it's looking, they're trying to shut it down a lot sooner, you know, than the fall into the winter. You know, now whether they will accomplish that or not, only the Lord knows. But they're trying to shut things down once again. You know, spare me 1 second. They're trying to shut things down, you know, and this time, you know, it could just be a straight up full hard martial law. You know, as Elder Potstar has been saying, because the first part of it was light martial law. Pretty much there was a test, and there were some individuals that were saying that the elite couldn't believe how easy it was to pretty much lock you people down, and pretty much. Like if the majority of the people of America or the world would have said, fuck y'all, we ain't wearing no masks, guess what? They wouldn't have been able to enforce that. Because how are they going to arrest millions and millions and millions and millions of people? You know? But they said it was easy. And now, even with the restrictions being so-called, you know, being downplayed or however you want, you know, however you say that, you know, being relaxed. You know, people are still wearing their masks. People are wearing their masks when they leave the house. They walk into their car, sitting in their car on their way to the supermarket or wherever. They'll have their mask on all freaking day. Pretty much, you know, because they're pretty much being conditioned, you know, to wearing that. And that pretty much messes you up, pretty much. But while you're playing around, Jake, you Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, these devils are preparing. And this is one of the scriptures that came to mind. This is the book of Luke, chapter 16, verse 8. And the Lord commended the unjust steward because he had done wisely. For the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. And that is the truth. Because you Israelites, you know, here it is. You are the people of the Lord. But you are the most hard-headed, the most stubborn, the most foolish, the most ignorant, you know, the most misinformed, you know, the most rebellious. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. This is Jeremiah 4:22. For my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are Sodom's children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. So pretty much the Most High is calling you all a bunch of fools, a bunch of sottish, drunken, you know, individuals that are not preparing for what's coming. You know, you're not watching what's happening. You're not, you know, you're not looking around your surroundings. You're not aware of the times that we're in. You're not aware that that things are gonna get worse. You're not aware that this devil is your enemy. These Edomites, you know, these so-called white people. You're not aware that they're your enemies. You know, you're not aware of the plots and the plans and the snares and the traps that they're laying for you. You're not looking to any of these things. You're not prepared. You're not ready. All you're doing is playing around. You know, anything to have fun. Eat good and have fun. That's Jake. Jake will be there. Entertainment. When it comes to like studying and looking into stuff and being vigilant, you don't have there aren't very many Jakes out there that have that spirit. They're more into that Epicurean type spirit than into the Stoic type, of spirit. Matter of fact, I have my compact Bible dictionary here. Since I have it, let's look up. Let's see what it says. Let's see if it has the word Epicurean in it. Let's look that up, see what it says. Because that's you. That's the spirit that you're in. Here it goes. Epicureans. The followers of Epicurus, the Greek philosopher, 341 through 270 BC, he taught that the chief purpose of man is to achieve happiness. And you're all about happiness. You're all about joy. And that's why the majority of you are obese. You're out of shape. You're rotund. Because you have no discipline. You don't try to do anything for yourself. All you want to do is just have a good time. Here it is. You have people that'll go to the supermarket or wherever, to a department store, or whatever the case is. And there's nothing wrong with them. But just because they're so goddamn lazy, they'll sit in those little carts to ride around the store because they're too goddamn lazy to walk their ass in the store. And meanwhile, you have people that'll have, bad feet, or bad backs, or a broken leg, and they're forced to walk, with crutches or whatever in the stores because you motherfuckers that are too goddamn lazy to walk, you take the fucking carts. It's all about a good time with you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. But those good times are going to come to an end. So enjoy your last few little cookouts, man. Because this thing could very well break out very soon. And it's right around the corner. And these devils are not going to play with you. So you think these devils are... to this point, they've been kind of playing with you, but not really. But the horns are going to come out. We've been telling you that the horns are going to come out. And the shit is shutting down. Meanwhile, you're playing around. You're still scoffing. You're still talking shit, but that's all right. Keep on doing what you're doing. Because pretty soon, it's not going to be so funny. So it says, for the philosopher, the highest joy is found in mental and intellectual pursuits, but for lesser souls, lower goals of sensual satisfaction fulfill the greatest pleasure. And that's what the Most High calls you, a bunch of stiff-necked, hard-headed people. Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Because you are the lesser souls. Because, matter of fact, let's get that. Let's go to the book. Just bear with me 1 second. Let me see if I can find that. I know it's in the book of Psalms. I'm just not sure where. Okay. There, just bear with me. Bear with me. Come on, man. Of course it ain't gonna come up. Oh boy. Let me see if I can find it just looking in the scriptures. I know it's in the book of Psalms, but I'm just not sure exactly where it is. Just bear with me. Because while you playing around, they're getting prepared, man. They are getting prepared. And you, on the other hand, are playing games. You know, you wanted the pleasures. You wanted to feel, feel your fulfill your lust. Therefore, the Lord sent leanness into your soul. You know, and that's the scripture I'm looking for. I mean, if any brother know exactly where it is, if they could post it, because I thought the word leanness was in there, and I believe that word is in there, but for some reason, it's not coming up in the search engine. But y'all go ahead. You keep playing around. Keep playing around. And the Lord is He's going to open up on you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians pretty soon, because the Most High is sick and tired of this fucking place. The only reason why the Most High ain't stomp it out is because he's bound by his word. Other than that, the Most High would have been took this place out. Beautiful. Barakatay, how about GMS, who is it? GMS, your call to Tawada, brother Tawada. Sounds, I knew it was around there somewhere, but I typed in the word leanness, but it didn't come up. I typed in leanness to their soul and it didn't come up. But anyway, Psalms 106 and yep, and I knew it was on this side of the page too. All right. Let's start at Psalms 106 and 13. Wow. I'll start at 11. And the waters covered their enemies. There was not one of them left. This is dealing with when we came out of Egypt. It says, then believed they his words. They sang his praise. They soon forgot his works. They waited not for his counsel. It says, but lusted exceedingly in the wilderness and tempted the Most High in the desert. And he gave them their request, but sent leanness into their soul. See? So the Lord sent leanness into their soul, meaning what? That they didn't receive the oil or the eye salve to be able to connect with this truth, that faith. So he gave them their request, he gave them their heart's desire, but he sent leanness into their soul. That's what the scriptures say, that the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. Why? Because they prepare themselves. They do whatever they got to do to get to where they got to get to. But Jake is all about that pleasure. It's all about sitting back, relaxing, chilling, having a good time, and the hell with everything else. They think that everything is going to be the same from day to day. Oh yeah, we went through this little COVID thing and the riots and all that looting, but everything will get back to normal. Remember, look what happened in the Watts riot. Look what happened in '92 with the Rodney King thing. Look what happened when the levees broke. We had hard times for a little while, but then everything went back to normal. No, it's going to come to the point where it ain't going to go back to normal. Because if they raise the restrictions, right, on the so-called COVID bullshit, how come people are still wearing masks? How come people are still told to hold 6 feet apart? Because they're setting it up for the surveillance. Because surveillance works better when they're separated like that. 6 feet apart. 6 feet or more apart. That's how surveillance works better. Because if people are bunched up together, they won't. Those cameras and drones and stuff won't be able to pick the people up perfectly. But if they keep their distance, like they're making people do, then they can get everybody individually. So let's read that again. Matter of fact, let me see. There's a precept here. Let me see what this precept says. All right, that's going into something else. All right, so let's go back. Let's say he gave them their request, but sent leanness into their soul. So your whole thing is not about pleasing Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Your whole thing is about pleasing yourself. Filling your own belly, serving your own belly, not what the Most High says. That's why the Lord said that you are ignorant of the Most High's righteousness. All right, so let's go back to Epicureans. It says, But for lesser souls, lower goals of sensual satisfaction fulfill the greater pleasure. And that's where Jake is at. Because if Jake was of a higher caliber, so to speak, they would be into learning. But not just any learning, the proper learning. Because you have some Jakes out there that get into learning, but they get into learning some nonsense, some crazy bugged out philosophies, you know? It says, thus the high standard of the founder would not maintain, and the philosophy gained a bad reputation. Yeah, because he was saying that the higher class would seek for mental intellectual pursuits, and the lower souls would go into just pleasure. So what happened was it all turned into pleasure. So that's why I said they received a bad name, because I guess he was saying that Epicurus was saying that, you know, the main thing is to gain that intellectual insight, you know, to get that mental intellectual pursuit. It says, but lesser souls, lower goals of sensual satisfaction fulfill the greatest pleasure. So that's what he was saying, but they took it to put the Epicurean philosophy as just a sensual thing, self-gratification, you know, pleasure, you know, but it wasn't like that at the beginning. But that's what we have now. So Jake is in that warped Epicurean spirit. It says, it was widely held at the time of Yahushua. Paul met it at Athens when he encountered his philosophers, Acts 17:16-33. They were not impressed by his teaching of creation. Yeah, why? His teaching of creation, judgment, and resurrection, since all these doctrines were denied by the Epicurean philosophy. Why? Because it was all about having fun. So now let's look up the word stoic, and let's see what it says for stoic. Now, you know, the scriptures speak about wine, it speaks about music, it speaks about, you know, having a good time. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that, because you can't just be too rigid or you're gonna break. Anyone that says that, oh, I'm just a stoic, no, that's I mean, that person has no life. You know, if a person say that just strictly stoic, no, because you have to have a balance of both. Yeah, you have to have your stoic moments, but you also have to have your times when you relax and chill, drink some yayan or drink whatever you drink. You know, eat, chill out. You know, listen to some music, do something. You know. For so-called entertainment, you know, but for the most part, you know, we should be meditating on things that are coming. The scriptures speak about what manner of conversation we should have, but there's no one that's just a strictly stoic person, you know, unless you have those people out there that are stoics that do nothing. You know, they never drink, they never listen to music, they never have any kind of fun, they never smile, they never crack jokes, they never watch any type of comedy, anything like that. If you're that type of person, then you could say you're a stoic, because a stoic is just rigid. He's not. He doesn't crack a smile. He doesn't laugh. He doesn't listen to music. He doesn't drink wine. You see, so you have to have a balance. The scriptures say, "Be not over righteous." Stoics are over righteous to a certain degree because they're too rigid. Epicureans are overly wicked because there's no balance. So you have to have a perfect balance in this truth. So the word stoic, let's see if they have it. Stoicism. School of philosophy found by the Greek Zeno. System of pantheistic monism, regarded virtue as highest good. Ethics were austere, unmoved by pleasure or pain. See? And there's no one that fits that. And if there's people that fit that, then you are truly a stoic. You know? But if you drink yayan or if you have a good time, you listen to music, you're not a stoic. Okay? You know, you'll study, you know, you may be a studious individual, you may be deep into the scriptures, into history and all that. But if you have a good time, you're not a straight up stoic person. You know? Because we're stoics to a certain degree, but we're not stoics because we still listen to music and drink yayan or whatever brothers drink, you know? Because stoics don't do any of that. Epicureans don't do any studying. Like Commodus would be known as a Epicurean. His father, Marcus Aurelius, would be known as a Stoic. You see? All right, so now we got to, hammer that home. Psalms 106 and 15 again. And he gave them their requests, but sent leanness into their soul. See? So the Most High sent leanness into the soul of Israel because they didn't give the Most High credit. They wanted to play around. That's why we read. Let's get a couple of other precepts. Let's go back to Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 22. It says, "For my people is foolish." See, so Israel, we went from a wise nation to a foolish nation. It says they have not known me, and that's what makes Jake foolish. Because even though Esau don't know the Most High, they're wiser than the children of light. Why? Because they do the things that they're supposed to do. They're in order with what they're supposed to be doing. Jake is the one that's out of order. It says, and they have none understanding, and you don't have any understanding, because if you don't understand what times we're living in, if you don't understand what these scriptures are speaking about, if you're not preparing yourself mentally for what's happening and what's going on, then you have no understanding. You are ignorant of the Most High's righteousness, and you have your leaders to blame, and yourselves. But ultimately, when we get down to the nitty gritty, the Most High didn't choose you to be a part of the elect. That's what we say we're the hopeful elect, because we hope to be the elect. We're doing what the elect do, and we're praying that we endure to the end. Because this is it. What else is there? What else is there? This world, what does this world really have to offer? Nothing. Especially when you're woke. Matter of fact, let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 17. And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this is also vexation of the spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. And that's why the scriptures say that the heart of the righteous is in the house of mourning. But that doesn't mean you just stay in a depressed state in a corner. There's a balance to everything. But looking at this world and seeing what it's really all about, and knowing that these people that have made it in this society, so-called made it, and are out there, like they used to have this show, MTV Cribs, and they'll show you these videos where these rappers or these singers, have all kind of women, have, beautiful homes, beautiful cars, and, they just living that life. But really, when you get down to the nitty gritty of it, them people are not happy because of the things that they had to do to get there. Because this is a wicked society. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and the wicked are ruling this place. So this place is not a righteous place. So anyone that has any understanding of what's going on, what really is there in this world to really enjoy? When you know that this place is corrupt, how it's run is corrupt, the people that run it are corrupt. If you want to make it in the society, you have to be corrupt. And eventually this place is going to be destroyed for all that corruption. It says, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. But you don't see Jake, sitting in a house of mourning. You don't see Jake, lamenting for the things that are happening around the world. The things that are happening to Israel. They're lamenting. I mean, they're happy. They're living it up. This is Amos chapter 6, verse 1. Woe to them that are at ease in Zion. And the Lord said, woe to you, meaning destruction to those that are at ease in Zion. Meaning you're not watching what's going on. The things that you see, the transgender and the homosexual thing and the lesbian thing and the injustices that are committed against your people. These things are not supposed to sit well with you. And you'll jump up and say, well, Black Lives Matter. You'll jump out there and say, well, then justice is. But what the fuck are you doing? You're looting your neighborhoods. You're out there partying. You're not really out there for a real cause. You're out there just something to do. Partying, getting drunk, dancing, twerking, burning stores down, which really are Edomites doing that. But you jumping in, looting stores and all that. What is that? You see? And the majority of that Black Lives Movement has led now to the LGBTQ, XYZ, W, whatever, movement being inserted into that. And y'all riding with that. So you ain't grief for what's going on in the world. You're a part of the world. You're a part of the problem. Because if you weren't part of the problem, people would hate you. That's what Yahweh said, the world cannot hate you, but me it hated because I testify of it, that the deeds thereof are evil. So it says, woe to them that are at ease in Zion and trust in the mountain of Samaria, which are named chief of the nations to whom the house of Israel came. And a lot of you are trusting in these different idols of Esau. Because Esau's system is based on idolatry, on paganism. And you trusting in this world. So you trusting indirectly in idols and pagan worship. Jumping down to verse 3, ye that put far away the evil day. Yeah, because which one of these Israelites out here that's out there partying and having a good time that hasn't woke up, know that these are the end days, that these are the last days. Well, I mean, I see, the elder down in South Carolina going out there and doing these interviews with Jake, and all Jake could do is, most of them are in simplicity. Most of them don't know what the hell is going on, and most of them don't give a damn what's going on. You may run into one or two individuals that might consider or might be into something, or might be searching, or might speak some real wisdom, and may know what's really happening and going on in this society. But for the most part, they're all about having fun, and that's why they're there in that area and many other areas like that around the world. It says, ye that put far away the evil day and cause the seed of violence to come near. Yeah, because Esau is the seed of violence, and you're causing it to come near. Why? Because you're preparing the table for that truth. You're preparing Esau's table. You're helping keep Esau's table afloat. That's why you are part of the problem. And that's where the Most High, the solution is going to be to wipe you out by thermonuclear destruction. But before that, whatever other thing the Most High has, judgment has for you, whether it be famine, whether it be concentration camps, whether it be these FEMA troops or whatever martial law troops, whatever is coming down the pike, whether you escape into the woods and wild beasts tear you apart, there's a serious judgment coming, man. And as you're playing, these devils are preparing. It says, they lie upon beds of ivory and stretch themselves upon their couches and eat the lambs out of the flock and the calves out of the midst of the stall. And now what you're doing is what? Now what you're doing is eating pork. That's why the majority of you are obese. You got that demonic flab on you. That comes from that pork. And you see people's in most cases, people that eat pork, their ankles swell up. They got these big flabby arms, I mean, that's pork, man. Because the body can't digest that garbage. And that's why it's happening. So you ain't worried about the times that we're living in. And the majority of you call yourselves Christians. But you ain't concerned with what's going on. All you're concerned about is when can you have your cookouts? When can you hang out, do what you got to do, commit adultery, be homosexuals, be lesbians, be whatever you want to be, do whatever the hell you want to do. And then expect the Most High to be pleased with that. It says that chant to the sound of the viol. Yeah, because that's all y'all do, sing and dance, singing along with these different demonic songs that come on, and invent to themselves instruments of music like David, that drink wine in bowls and anoint themselves with the chief ointments, but they are not grieved with the affliction of Joseph. Yeah, you're not grieved Back then, they weren't grieved with what happened in Samaria, to the northern kingdom. Today, you're not grieved with what's really going on, because those of you that claim that you down for that so-called Black Lives Matter, which was started by 3 lesbians, as Elder Apostle Gabar brought out, all you're doing is going out there. It may be a handful of you that might be concerned about what these cops are really doing, but the majority of you out there just to party and have a good time, to hang out and be into mischief. And the scriptures say, follow not a multitude to do mischief. All right, so now there were some precepts here in Ecclesiastes. I want to just check real quick. Just bear with me 1 second. I want to see what it says. See if it could be brought into the lesson. That's good. You know what? Yeah, I read that. Job 28:28. And unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom. And to depart from evil is understanding. You Israelites are not departing from evil. You're running to evil. And the Lord said, let's go to Ecclesiastes 12:1. And the Lord already gave us the direction and instruction on what to do. Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not. Yeah, because evil days are coming. And then the word evil breaks down to EV, which is age, and ill, which means bad. So evil means bad times. So bad times are coming. You're going to have bad times that are going to be coming, that are going to take over this place. Because these are the days of vengeance, as the scriptures say. Even though the days of vengeance in Matthew 24 or Luke 21 was speaking about 70 AD, well, this is going to be the new days of vengeance. Remember in Daniel 9, the scriptures spoke about how the words that the Most High spoke about came upon Israel. They came upon the Israelites. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. There's the book of Daniel, chapter 7. I'm sorry, chapter 9. Daniel chapter 9. And verse 7, it says, "O Lord," matter of fact, let me jump down to the 8th verse. Now, you know what? Let me just go to the point. Verse 9, it says, "To the Lord our power belong mercies and forgivenesses, though we have rebelled against him. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our power to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants, the prophets." And yet, to this day, none of you Israelites out there can tell the world or anybody why you're in the condition that you're in. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, none of you can tell anyone why you're in the condition that you're in. Because we broke the law, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father, he put curses upon us. And that's why we're going through what we're going through. But yet, still in all, here it is, you've been hooping and hollering for hundreds of years on the pulpit with your pastor and your ministers and your deacons and your choir boys and your choir girls and your organs, and none of you have been able to find out why you're in the condition that you're in. Why are we suffering the things that we're suffering? You've never heard a pastor teach a sermon on we're catching hell because we're the Israelites and we're under curses. The curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. You ain't never heard them say that. And the ones that may have recently started teaching that is because they've been watching the Israelites out there. The same people that they talk shit about, the same groups that they talk shit about, they're over there, using the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that's coming from them through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So none of them are talking about, why Jake is in this condition and what Jake can do to get out of this condition. All they're talking about is we got to unify. We got to come together. We got to pool our money together. We got to build our own businesses. We got to do this. We got to do that. Well, in the law, it says different. But then when you bring that out, it's like there's like a brick wall there that is not allowing them to see it because that's the Lord blocking them from seeing it. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 and 47. "Because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. So the Lord sent these enemies against us. All right, He's the one that caused them to get up above us very high, and we came down very low, as the scriptures say. Let me get this other precept that came to mind just to hold it on deck. Isaiah chapter 42, right? Is this it? Yep, this is it. All right, so just let me hold on to that. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 and 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, because he gave us everything. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against you. So the Lord is the one that sent these devils against us. It says, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. So pretty much whatever we get into, we're going to have to come to this devil for. So even if you have your own business, you got to still go to the devil to get supplies, to get whatever it is you need. You're still going to have to pay taxes to this devil. You're still going to have to pay property taxes to this devil. You know, you're still going to have to pay a fee and a tax on whatever goods are coming into your store. So how are you going to be self-sufficient when you don't have your own government, when you don't have your own land, when you don't have your own military, so to speak? You see? And it's like when you bring these facts out, Jake ain't trying to hear that. Because some of them, most of them are into pleasure. And the ones that do have some kind of sense and some kind of study or some kind of savvy, you know, they're trying to do things according to their own will, you know, building up a nation. We're pooling all our money together, buying from our own businesses. See? So it says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And he did that. These devils did that. You know, that's why when you type in yoke of iron, you're going to come up with Judites that have these yokes of iron around their neck. Every once in a while, excuse me, you might see one of the Latin tribes, you know, so-called Indian tribes with a yoke, but that primarily fell upon Judah, you know? So let me see what another precept here. All right, the 7th chapter, the 16th verse. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 7:16 before we read on in the 12th chapter. Let's see what that says. Be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Right. So if you try to be too rigid, you're gonna destroy yourself. You gotta have some form of balance. Even Yahushua pulled the disciples away, you know, because it said that they were so busy that they didn't even have time to eat. So Yahushua would pull them away. They would eat and drink, sing hymns and all that as a downtime, so to speak, to get some type of relaxation. It's let's see, was it another one? It's 1 Corinthians 1 and 20. Let's see what that says. Oh, we got to go back to Daniel too. 1 Corinthians 1 and 20. Let's see what that says. Just bear with me 1 second. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 1 and 20. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Have not the Most High made foolishness the wisdom of this world? Yeah, so when you're trying to get into this world and the studies of this world, it's foolishness. Trying to go to college, you know, to get a doctor's degree, to teach the Bible, you know? The Most High already said that the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. So now, let's go back to Daniel chapter 9 and verse 10. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our power to walk in his ways, which he set before us by his servants the prophets. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, and that's why the curses fell upon all of us. It says, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. And that's and how are they not obeying the voice of the Lord? By not listening to the prophets. because the Lord has prophets where he's sending his message through of these things that are happening. But Jake ain't listening. They're making light of it. In the past, they killed the prophets. And if they could, they would do it now. It says, therefore, the curse is poured upon us. You see? So that curse is poured upon us. So the Lord poured it. When you pour something on somebody, they get drenched in it. So we've been drenched and pickled in the curses. So which one of these pastors in the churches you hear speaking about the curse of the Deuteronomy 28? Like I said, maybe in recent years, they might start speaking about it because they've heard the Israelites out there teaching the word, which they're Israelites also, but they didn't know that at one time. But for the most part, ain't none of them teaching that, especially the mega church, the mega church pastors like Creflo Dollar and the rest of them clowns. You know? This guy, Reverend Al Sharpton, called himself a reverend. When the last time you heard him preach a sermon? All he do is shoot his big mouth off. He's nothing but a fucking Boule member. He's talking about George Floyd is the stone that the builders rejected. That he's become the head of the corner. Trying to say that he's the cornerstone. Pretty much saying that he's the Messiah. Bunch of fucking jive ass turkeys out there, man. Full of shit ass, you know. It says, therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of the Most High, because we have sinned against him. And that's why these curses fell upon us. Now there's a precept here, H, for poured. This is Deuteronomy 27, and it goes through the whole 15 through 26 verse. I mean, if you brothers want to check that out, that goes into the curses too. Deuteronomy 27, 15 to 26. That goes into, that's a good chapter too. Verse 12, and he, the Most High, hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us. That's why he made the covenant with Moses and the children of Israel to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. The blood was sprinkled on the altar, on the book, on the people, right? They agreed, our forefathers agreed, that was the oath. And the book of the things that are written is the witness against us. You see? Well, why did the Lord do this to us? Well, we made an agreement with him, and we didn't keep the agreement. I mean, we know the greater purpose, that is the plans of the Most High anyway, but he made an agreement with us, and we didn't keep it. So these curses got poured upon us. And no matter where we go on the planet, these curses are following us everywhere we go. Let's go to back to Deuteronomy 28. So you could preach all day out of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Deuteronomy 28 and 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee, meaning wherever you go. Because some jakes think that, well, I've been living in New York too long. If I move to Connecticut or New Jersey or down south somewhere, you know, I have a better life. And then they go down there and guess what? It's the same old shit. Because these curses will pursue us no matter where you go. You can go to the moon and the curses will be right there waiting for you. I said, damn, it took you long enough. And then they'll hop right on your ass. It says, and overtake thee, meaning that there won't be nothing you could do to avoid it. You won't be able to duck them. You won't be able to go around them. You won't be able to go under or over them. Because they're going to be right there in your face. It says, till thou be destroyed. And our people as a nation have been destroyed, destructured. That's why it says, my people are, matter of fact, let me get that real quick. This is the book of Hosea 4 and 6. Can't think of the actual quote, so let's go to it. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. And this is one that we go over a lot. It says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. See? So the lack of knowledge is what destroyed us. These curses overtook us. And now the Lord is waking up a certain amount of us to come back to him so that we can be set back up. We could be edified back. The tabernacles of David could be built back up and restructured the right way. The way the white men don't want you to be restructured. Inside joke. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And we've been rejected, but now the Lord is accepting us back through his son Yahushua, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. And that's why you have these pastors in the churches that have been there hundreds of years, and none of them have been able to figure out that we are the Israelites and that we are under curses. And if they even had a hint of it, they didn't go into it because the 501c3 gags them from doing that. You see? You got some other clowns talking about that. No, the 501c3 don't gag you from doing this and that. Man, shut up. You don't know what the hell is going on. All right, so now let's go back to let's go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 45. It says, and shall pursue thee and overtake thee, meaning the curses, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep his statutes and his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they, meaning the curses, shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder upon thy seed forever. So in other words, these curses were going to be upon us as a witness to who the Israelites are. That's where those curses came upon us. So when you look around the world and you see in these different ghettos and hoods and barrios and shanty towns and favelas and whatever they're called in whatever country they may be, those are Israelites that are caught up in that bad situation. All right, now let's go back to Daniel chapter 9, verse 12. And he hath confirmed the words which he spake against us and against our judges that judge us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven have not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. And there's no other nation that has suffered the curses and the way that we've suffered as a nation, from back then till now. And it's going to get worse, because there's going to be a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Because while you're playing, they're preparing. Let me see, I have a precept here. I just want to see what that precept says. Sometimes you make like little side notes. Let me see. That's a good one. First Maccabees 2 and 7. I believe this is Mattathias that said this. First Maccabees 2 and 7. He said, woe is me, wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers. And it's going to get really bad out here, man. Jake don't know what the hell is going to come for them down the pike. Hey, Yahushua told those women back then, before 7 AD, if you had known what belonged to your peace, you wouldn't be crying for me. You would be crying for you and your children. But now they are hid from thine eyes. Same way that they're hid from Jake's eyes today. This onslaught that's going to be coming down the pike upon you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. It's going to be some serious, hard times coming. And right now, they're just setting you up. Lovely. You were nervous because of the COVID. Then they started restricting, the lockdown. Then this George Floyd situation happens, and rioting and looting went crazy. People didn't wear masks. They were not social distancing. Now they're starting to lock things back down because everything is surging back up. COVID is surging back up. And now they're preparing the stage for the next stage of the event, which is what? These vaccines, testing the vaccines. And these vaccines is what's going to contain. These vaccines may very well contain stuff in them that's going to really infect these people. And you're going to really see the zombies coming out of these people. That's why the Lord said, man, that in these times, then shall be known who are my chosen. Because the Lord is going to have his hedge. He's going to have his hedge. The scriptures say, if these days are not shortened, there shall no flesh be left to be saved. And we're starting to understand that even more and more because of the onslaught of these FEMA camps, FEMA troops, martial law troops, the disease warfare that's being pushed out there, the lack of food, the lack of bread, you know, the GMO in the foods, the tainted toxic skies, you know, the toxic water, you know, the shit that the drugs that they're giving these people that are altering their mind. It's going to get disastrous out here, man. Forget about it. So now let's go from there back to Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and 1. Remember now that thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Yeah, because these job situations are getting worse and worse. This economy is collapsing. And now that they're so-called opening back up, you see in stores 25% off your entire purchase and blah, blah, this, that, and the other. The majority of mom and pop businesses are closed down. You know, some businesses haven't even opened back up. You know, and now they're starting to slowly, short but surely close everything back down. So we're seeing the demise of this place. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Take balm for her, if so be she may be healed. She's not going to be healed. Because the Most High is using these devils on the left-hand side to shut it all down. And once they push that mark of the beast, which Elder Pastor keeps saying over and over and over again, once they push that mark of the beast and make it mandatory, then you're going to see things moving really fast. You know? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians out there, you Israelites, you know, you thinking that this is a benevolent country, that the leaders that they have in place, oh, the president knows best, or the congressman knows best, or the mayor knows best, or the judges and all that. They're all working for the same team, man. They're all under that demonic Luciferian doctrine. And what they want to bring is a total demonic, satanic new world order. To where we know the world, all of us will have to bow down to these devils. But the Lord said that then shall be known who are my chosen. Because we ain't bound to this devil's new world order. You know, and we pray that the Lord give us a spirit to continue on and fight. Because shit is going to get bad out here, man. You know? Guys going, you know, getting guns and, you know, going to the shooting range, you know, and get whatever they have, grenades or whatever they have, like that's going to affect Esau. You messing with the master of the sword, Esau. You ain't going to overtake the master of the sword. It says, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And we're seeing that happening right now. A lot of stores are shutting down. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Yeah, because this economy is going to collapse. I mean, you're seeing it. I mean, the debt clock is going up trillions of dollars, man. You know, you used to take a while for it to go. Now, within a matter of a month or so, it's going up a whole $1 trillion. And they keep pumping trillions and trillions of dollars into the economy. And that's weakening the dollar more and more. People thinking it's sustaining it, making it strong, but all it's doing is weakening it. It's just prolonging the inevitable, which is the collapse and the total decline of the dollar to bring in the microchip, which is the mark of the beast. Now, some people are saying they're trying to bring in some type of Bitcoin or some type of cryptocurrency to, you know, in the meantime, whatever it is, the ultimate goal is the microchip. That is the ultimate goal. Make no, have no doubt about that. The ultimate goal is the microchip because that's what's in there. And these guys out here that's teaching, these Israelite groups that's teaching that the mark of the beast is not the microchip, that is the main thing they're going to use for the economy. That's why it says that no man might buy or sell It didn't mean that no man could go into a religion or accept a religion. It said that no man might buy or sell. So this mark of the beast, which is the microchip, is going to be used for more than just tracking or keeping tabs on people or holding their records. It's going to be used for financial situations, financial reasons, because they're trying to keep track of the whole world. They want it all, man. And that's why you see things falling apart the way they are. So there is going to be a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Matter of fact, let's finish with that. Let's finish with 2 Ezra 16. And these scriptures are even more relevant right now. I mean, we've gone over these scriptures so much that some brothers know these scriptures by heart. But this is the time when these scriptures are speaking even louder and clearer. 2 Ezra 16 and 67. Behold, the Most High himself is the judge. So that's what we're waiting for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua to do his thing. He says, fear him, leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall the Most High lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. And that's the deal. We're waiting for the Lord to come and deliver us from all trouble. Because the time of Jacob's trouble is coming. But he said what? But you shall be delivered from the same. And it says, and then shall be known who are my chosen, as we read further down. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. And what's that? That's all of these military groups and police forces. And they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle. And where are you going to be idle at? In these different concentration camps, detention centers, with things offered unto idols. Because it's going to be things that they give you in there. You people that's in there, you ain't going to have no choice. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach. Why? Because eventually you're going to be destroyed. The Lord said, anyone that takes that mark of the beast shall be destroyed and trodden underfoot. Because once they don't need you anymore, what you think they're going to do to you? For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. And that's what's coming. A great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, because they're not going to be, their emotions are going to be shut off. And they might be chipped, to where you can shut the emotions off, like they did the Delgado bull. They mess with the bull and they put some type of device in his head to where they make the bull get aggressive, and then in the push of a button, he'll just be docile. It said, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord, because the main enemy of the New World Order, the main enemy of Esau are you Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Yeah. Some of you trying to get home, trying to buy houses, and you're looking down your nose at other Jakes because they're not as privileged as you. They don't have as much money as you to live like you live, and you look down upon them. Well, guess what? You're going to lose all of that. And then what you're going to have? That pride is going to be knocked down. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, see? And they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Yeah, because there's a trial coming. It says, hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. So that's what we're waiting for, that spiritual and divine intervention from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai to take this devil out and deliver us. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide. So the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, who's going to guide us into safety. It says, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. That's dealing with the servants of the Lord. It says, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord power. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. Woe be unto them that are bound with their sins and covered with their iniquities, like as a field is covered over with bushes, and the path thereof covered with thorns, that no man might travel through. Why? Because Yahweh already took those sins away from us. It is left undressed and is cast into the fire to be consumed therewith. So pretty much the consumption is coming. The Lord said that in his hand there is a cup, and it is poured out without mixture. The cup is red, and it's poured out without mixture into the Lord's, from the Lord's indignation. So destruction and death is coming. And while you Jakes out there playing, These devils are preparing. They're getting ready. They've done their studies. Even though they're going to be destroyed in America, but they're still looking and observing and reporting things that are going on. While you Israelites out there cooking out, playing games, trying to get into these clubs or whatever you do, wishing that the sports would open fully back up so that you could watch your favorite teams. It's about to be over with soon. So while you're playing, these devils are preparing. So with that, I pray that you devils, Salakia, Salakia brothers, I pray that you brothers, that was Satan. There's a man that slipped with his tongue, but not from his heart. With that, I pray that you brothers have been edified, and I pray that you devils be destroyed. The devils that are among the righteous brothers watching, I pray that you be destroyed. So with that, I pray that your brothers have been edified. To the next time I say shalom.